Hello everyone, I am Julian Morris with the Channel 5 News. In the headlines, new guidelines for reopening of school formally launched. A commitment by government to address concerns of property owners in the Wesley Woodford Hill area as plans for an international airport unfold. And the Cabinet expects to have recommendations by retired Chief Justice Sir Dennis Byron on electoral reform by the end of the year. The details of the news coming up.
Avec Flow, animé on top up, sign up, quittez yo, every video join Flow. It only gets better with Flow.
Flow terms and conditions apply.
Are you still washing your hands regularly, wearing your mask in public, and practicing social distancing? 0 cases does not mean COVID-free. Stay home if you're not well to keep others from getting sick. Continue to avoid crowds in public spaces. Always keep your guard up. We're still fighting this together. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
Flow helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 700 local anywhere calls and texts with the always-on prepaid plan, all for $29. Keep your number when you switch to Dominica's most reliable LTE network. Buy wherever you top up. Switch to Flow. It only gets better.
First up in the news, the new guidelines on the reopening of schools were officially launched on Monday. Here is Andrea Louis with more.
This formed part of the annual principals meeting, which takes place ahead of the start of the academic year. Teachers are expected to return to the classroom from 1st September, while children go back to school from 7th September. Minister for Education Octavia Alfred says the COVID-19 crisis highlighted the need for dynamic and creative education practices.
The crisis in education brought about by COVID-19 stimulated creativity and allowed you and your teachers to develop innovative approaches to ensure continuity. Importantly, I think COVID-19 highlighted that the future of learning is very dynamic and that there will be rapid and advanced modes of delivering quality education. In all of this, we will need to consider the needs of all children.
Israel was instrumental in preparing this document to help guide the education sector on the safe reopening of schools during the COVID-19 era. The safety of all involved is of paramount importance to the ministry.
The guidelines and protocols are certainly a good start, and it is my hope that we can work together to put into practice the recommendations therein. However, I implore you to embrace your responsibilities as primary managers of your schools. Sometimes you should be the ones advising the Ministry of Education. You must tell us what will work best in your own circumstance, even if you are given guidelines. You must be effective managers, leading your staff and students in adherence to the guidelines.
Minister Alfred pledged her ministry's continued assistance to educators as they navigate through the COVID-19 impacted academic year.
We will be assisting our teachers and students with devices to improve access to quality education amidst the pandemic. We have already ensured through collaboration with telecom providers that all schools have Wi-Fi connectivity. We have placed additional water troughs at some of our schools, a process which will certainly continue. Additionally, we are actively engaging individuals to serve as hygiene wardens at all our schools, and we have procured large quantities of single desks for distributions to school to assist with social distancing.
The Dominica Media and Communications Association also was gifted with copies of the guidelines in order to better inform the public on the safety protocols.
Prime Minister Skerrit has engaged landowners in the Wesley Woodfordale area who will be affected by plans to build an international airport. The Prime Minister says the idea behind these meetings is to ensure that these landowners are not worse off after they part with their property to make way for the airport.
I met with farmers and property owners in Wesley, several of them whose properties have to be acquired by the government. And first of all, I really want to place on public record, I may have done so before, but I want to reiterate it here this evening, my extreme gratitude and profound gratitude to the property owners in the Wesley London area, Woodfordale area. People there have been exceptional with their collaboration and cooperation. I thought it would have been a very difficult task, but to be honest with you, it has been a very easy task because the people understand the importance of this project to Dominica, to their livelihoods, and to the future of this country. And they have concerns, and legitimate concerns. We accept those concerns, we respect those concerns, and we intend to respond in a pragmatic way and a practical way to the concerns which they have raised. Very reasonable concerns, nothing outlandish in my respectful view.
Systems will be put in place to address the concerns expressed by the property owners.
What we have also done is that we have put in place a ministerial committee to oversee this airport project and also a technical committee to oversee this airport. For now, the technical committee is with public officers. We intend to extend it to the private sector and other interest groups in the next week or two so that there is a greater involvement of the whole of the country in respect to the airport. Through their own volition, the property owners in Wesley created a property owners committee, and we've almost formalized that committee to work with us on the ground to inform us of the issues and the concerns. And I must say that they have been working very well, and we've been working very well with them. And we intend to have 2 representatives from this committee to serve on the national committee as well, so that there is a sharing of information, a communication going on a daily basis. These ministerial and technical committees, I have mandated them to meet every week to follow up on issues relating to the construction of the airport.
A new president for the Builders and Contractors Association by the end of the year. The AGM and elections were scheduled to have been held in January but was delayed for different reasons. President of BCAD Anthony Leblanc says the plan is to host the AGM and elections before the end of 2020. Despite the hold on elections, the executive is still working behind the scenes to enhance the building and construction sector in the country.
The latest on that is that we have not scheduled the annual general meeting. The executive met in June and had some dates set out. I suppose a few of us in the executive have been pretty bogged down and we haven't followed up on that. But we are looking for the latest October to have another set of elections to get a new executive. In the meantime, we have been working to some extent in the background. We have been pushing education of our employees, the construction sector, and we have teamed up with the Rotary Club of Dominica, another international Rotary Club, I think is of Orleans in Canada, the State College, and a few other players, including the Ministry of Education, to develop a smart classroom learning module for students.
Leblanc has been president of BCAD since the end of 2015. And one man presently in police custody assisting with the ongoing investigations into the death of Denzel James. The 24-year-old of Newtown Citronnier died from a stab wound police say he sustained to his back. The incident occurred on Saturday on Great George Street in Roseau. In other news now, Prime Minister Skerrit says he is open to discussing a counter-proposal by the Bar Association to a measure by government which would reduce the judicial fee on land transactions. Prime Minister Skerrit announced the measure in the 2020-2021 national budget earlier this year, which would reduce that fee from 3% to 1%. He met with the Bar Association recently to discuss their position on the reduced fees. The Bar Association does not support the move and wants an opportunity to make a counter-offer, a proposal which the Prime Minister says is willing to entertain.
As it is now, the law states that the lawyers cannot charge more than 3% for any land transaction on the value of the land or the property. In the budget address, we indicated that we are reducing both government fees and also the judicial fee from 3% to 1.5%, but for 1 year, just for 1 year. As you know, because the number of people who, for one reason or the other, are unable to have their lands transferred into their names, because obviously sometimes the fees can be prohibitive if you're talking about a particular value of it.
The Prime Minister says he's open to the Bar Association's suggestions on alternative ways of approaching the issue which would benefit all parties concerned.
They have indicated to me that they would like the opportunity to provide a counter proposal as to how they believe that that everybody can win, and I say no problem, put it in writing, and I look forward to receiving this in writing. And if it makes sense, I am more than willing to go ahead with it. If it does not, then we will stick to our original position to reduce it to 1.5. But in respect to the government fees that have been reduced, which is about 40% of government fees, so we're reducing the government fees by 40%. We are sticking to this. We believe it to be helpful to a number of property owners, to people who are taking mortgages, who are building homes. These things, every dollar that somebody can save, it certainly is a benefit to everybody. So we look forward to that.
You are watching Channel 5 News. We'll have more after this.
Giving away $30,000 in cash, 2 bags of money plus $1,000 every Friday.
With Flow is better every day, and now we're making Fridays great. That's 3 ways that you can play. So listen up.
Top up.
$10 or more.
Sign up.
Just switch to Flow.
Get a plan.
1 gig or more. If you want to win cash galore.
With Flow.
Win a bag of money.
Cash out.
Get a bag of money. What you gonna do with a bag of money? Yeah. From Flow.
So top up, get a plan, or switch now to win. It only gets better with Flow.
Flow terms and conditions apply.
Are you still washing your hands regularly, wearing your mask in public, and practicing social distancing? 0 cases does not mean COVID-free. Stay home if you're not well to keep others from getting sick. Continue to avoid crowds in public spaces. Always keep your guard up. We're still fighting this together. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
A new in-home experience is here. All your services bundled into one simple plan. Faster, more reliable Wi-Fi so that you can binge, play, and stream uninterrupted. Unlimited Flow local landline minutes mean you can talk and talk and talk. Plus the best in TV entertainment with over 120 channels and 29 in HD. All for $160 a month with the new all-in bundle. With Flow, it only gets better.
Thank you for staying with us. A final report to Cabinet on the way forward as regards electoral reform expected to be ready by the end of this year. Prime Minister Skerrit says retired Chief Justice of the Caribbean Court of Justice, Dennis Byron, who has agreed to conduct the exercise, will begin the process in September. Cabinet is expected to use the recommendations from that report as a guide towards making electoral reform a reality in the country.
The Cabinet last week approved of the engagement of Sir Dennis Byron, retired Chief Justice of the OECS Supreme Court and retired Chief Justice of the Caribbean Court of Justice, who will serve as the sole commissioner to advance efforts towards electoral reform. This was a firm commitment which we gave, and notwithstanding the COVID period, we felt it was important for us to advance efforts towards electoral reform. And Sir Dennis has indicated to us that he will commence the exercise in the month of September, and he should be in a position to submit a final report by the end of December 2020. So this is good news for us. This is a commitment to us, electoral reform for this government, is important. It's important for the country. And we're hoping that once Sir Dennis would have submitted his report, then we can go to the Parliament to effect the necessary changes as he'll recommend to the country to move forward. And you know, Sir Dennis is an exceptional Commonwealth, I would say a Commonwealth citizen, you know, not an OECS or Caribbean citizen. You know, the respect which Sir Dennis has beyond the Caribbean shores is really exceptional. And I believe that I don't think there's any better person our country could find to conduct this exercise. You know, and so I'm very happy and pleased and grateful to him for accepting. And I can say to you that he said he was very busy. He had a number of things doing as expected, but he felt it that he wanted to do this for Dominica, and we're very grateful for him squeezing some time for us on this exercise.
Sir Dennis Byron of St. Kitts Nevis was sworn in as permanent judge of the International Criminal Tribunal for Rwanda in 2004. Born in 1943, he became Chief Justice of the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court in 1999. Prior to this, he was judge of the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court since 1982. In 2000, Judge Byron was conferred the award of Knight Bachelor by Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. An appeal to fisherfolk to get official training in order to boost the fisheries sector. Here is Andrea Louis with more.
The comment from facilitator of the Basic Fisherman Training Course and Senior Fisheries Officer Norman Norris. Norris was speaking at the end of the 42nd BFTC over the weekend and says over the past years the fisheries sector has improved in Dominica.
We have come a long way. When I look at fishing in 2020 compared to how it was when I started in the fisheries division in 1992, we started a long way. Everybody is conscious of ice now. This is so very important, particularly if you have to look at export market potential. The Coast Guard was very complimentary and the government of the program, because persons were just crossing the floor, changing from fig to fish and getting lost. The Coast Guard had challenges going out to recover fishermen. Right now, the situation of fishermen getting lost at sea has been reduced to almost zero. So these were all compliments that the program got.
During the training course, participants gained knowledge on fishing gear and methods, safety at sea, and other aspects of marine environmental conservation. Norris appealed to those interested in the sector to do the course in order to promote the sector and good fishing practices.
Every single fisherman has to do a basic fisher training course. This is standard, this is mandatory, and it complements the program. Every fisher must be registered. The service, the country wants to know how many fishers we have in the country. If we have to put up a project in Scotshead or Kashaku or Capuchin, we have to know how many fishers are there so we can know what size of facility and the various amenities that the area is supposed to have. So if you're not registered, you're not in the system. Somehow, some way, you're draining it. And if we know we have 200 fishers, then we budget, we cater, we plan for 200 fishers, and it makes a much bigger difference than if you don't know and persons just coming on board vai.
The Basic Fisherman Training course started in 2005. Andrea Louis, Channel 5 News.
And 3 additional customers of Cable and Wireless Flow Dominica picked up their winnings from the Flow Bag of Money campaign on Friday. Congratulations to customer Andy Bellot, who won $500. The prize was picked up by his representative. The other 2 Flow customers, Louis Vidal and Zoe Laurent, both won a $250 prize.
Face to dear Flow customer, we want to thank all of you for choosing Flow. We want to say to somebody out there that you have a chance of winning $10,000. We did so. We presented to Dwayne. Another Belmont, yes. Belmont, yes. Just a couple of weeks ago.
The Bag of Money campaign continues with the final draw of $10,000 scheduled for the 4th of September. To qualify, top up $10 or more, sign up for the new postpaid service, or activate an always-on combo plan, or port in or switch to Flow.
Flow helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 700 local anywhere calls and texts, with the always-on prepaid plan, all for $29. Keep your number when you switch to Dominica's most reliable LTE network. Buy wherever you top up. Switch to Flow. It only gets better.
Are you still washing your hands regularly, wearing your mask in public, and practicing social distancing? 0 cases does not mean COVID-free. Stay home if you're not well to keep others from getting sick. Continue to avoid crowds in public spaces. Always keep your guard up. We're still fighting this together. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
With Flow, when I bag our money, cash out. Get a bag of money. What you gonna do with a bag of money? Yeah. From Flow.
Yo, check this. Flow is giving away $30,000 in cash.
Oh, yeah.
2 bags of money plus $1,000 every Friday.
With Flow is better every day, and now we're making parties great. That's 3 ways that you can play. So listen up.
Top up.
$10 more.
Sign up.
Just switch to Flow.
Get a plan.
1 gig or more. If you wanna win cash galore.
With Flow.
Win a bag of money.
Cash out.
Get a bag of money. What you gonna do with a bag of money? Yeah. From Flow.
So top up, get a plan, or switch now to win. It only gets better with Flow.
Flow terms and conditions apply.
A new in-home experience is here. All your services bundled into one simple plan. Faster, more reliable Wi-Fi so that you can binge, play, and stream uninterrupted. Unlimited Flow local landline minutes mean you can talk and talk and talk. Plus the best in TV entertainment with over 120 channels and 29 in HD. All for $160 a month with the new all-in bundle. With Flow, it only gets better.
To end the news, a look at the headlines again. New guidelines for reopening of school formally launched. A commitment by government to address concerns of property owners in the Wesley Woodfordville area as plans for an international airport unfold. And Cabinet expects to have recommendations by retired Chief Justice Sir Dennis Byron on electoral reform by the end of the year. You may access the news on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the production team, I am Julian Morris. Thank you for watching. Join us tomorrow.